The National Institute of Standards and Technology defines 5 essential cloud characteristics that form cloud computing. To help remember these, let's use the analogy of a girl going to the gym. Which leads us to the first characteristic, which is on-demand self-service, aka the girl entering the gym turnstiles using a mobile phone whenever she wants, aka on-demand. NIST actually defines this first characteristic as a primary benefit, as ultimately the girl can enter the gym without any interaction or assistance needed from the cloud provider, aka the gym staff. Technical keynote: when referring to cloud resources, aka the gym equipment, we are referring to a resource pooling. And resource pooling is an important concept which will become clearer as we go through this video and analogy. The second essential cloud characteristic as defined by NIST is broad network access, meaning the gym, aka the cloud service, is broadly available. Whilst we can constrain access, by default it still remains broadly available. This means once the girl uses a self-service on-demand gym access to enter the gym, then the broad network access characteristic would grant her access to most, if not all, the gym equipment. So that would be all the weights, the dumbbells, the cardio machines, and of course the squat racks. Now some key technical keynotes for your exam around broad network access, which means that the cloud service is always on and accessible. That means access to all the resources, data, and other assets that you want when you need from anywhere. Of course, appropriate access control should be implemented, e.g. proper credentials and tokens. Also, broad network access applies to standard devices. However, the interesting thing with newer technology is that certain devices may or may not be compatible. Now, moving on to the third key characteristic as defined by NIST, which is known as resource pooling. Now, earlier in the video, I mentioned that you should remember resource pooling because it becomes apparent here in terms of the analogy context. You see, resource pooling works on the economies of scale, and this is why most cloud service providers, aka the gyms, are very successful. Because the use of multiple gyms, aka data centers, scattered across the world provides unlimited resource pooling. And to link this back to earlier in the video, that is, all the gym equipment being the cloud resources that can be pooled or divided based on the service or the client's needs. Because of these huge economies of scale, aka loads of big data centers, aka loads of gyms. A keynote also worth remembering is that virtualization enabled a lot of this economies of scale in terms of cloud computing, allowing fast adoption of services without the need to physically manage hardware. Imagine having to spin up hundreds or thousands of servers on demands of customers if there was no virtualization layer. Which means the cloud as we know it may not have existed today. Now the fourth essential cloud computing characteristic as defined by NIST is known as rapid elasticity. Now, to explain this key characteristic using the gym analogy, let's imagine that the gym has a new gym machine, the hip thruster machine. And this hip thruster machine has become a real hit with the ladies. Oh yeah. And a quick reminder, if you're enjoying this video so far, please be sure to leave a like to help this channel grow and move further and further up the YouTube algorithm. Now, back to the video. So when the gym brought this hip thruster machine, it had no idea how popular or unpopular it would be. And this is where the key characteristic of rapid elasticity comes into play. Because similar to an elastic band that can stretch depending on the force and demand put on it, this is the same concept in cloud computing and in the gym in this analogy. Because elasticity works in real time, where it automatically provisions and can also deprovision resources based on real-time load and demand. Important technical keynote: elasticity is not the same as scalability. Elasticity is usually based on real-time demand, whereas scalability is more long-term planning. I covered this difference in a separate gym-related video that is linked here if you want to see more. Now let's see this rapid elasticity in action. Let's see that hip thruster machine being repeated because it's so popular. And with this being a cybersecurity exam cartoons channel, let's draw the concept of elasticity through the elastic band being stretched by 2 fingers. And this same hip thruster machine leads us nicely to the final essential cloud characteristic, which is measured service. And to conceptually explain this, let's imagine that this hip thruster machine has a little LED screen that tracks the progress of the girl or the girls using it. This measured service is a unique characteristic of cloud computing, and is something that traditional deployments have struggled to provide in the past. You see, resource usage can be measured, controlled, reported, and alerted upon in real time. meaning that resources are paid for depending on how much they are used, similar to electrical meters in your house. Or in this analogy, for the girl to keep track of how many reps and sets she does on the hip thruster machine week by week, and that shows the progress over time. Important technical keynote: a measured service tracks the resource usage, but it does not handle scaling. So think of measured service as a dashboard of analytics, to which you get a bill at the end. Now to summarize everything in this video in nice one-screener. The 5 essential characteristics are on-demand self-service number 1, number 2 was the broad network access, number 3 was the resource pooling, number 4 was rapid elasticity, and number 5 was measured service. And this is all per the NIST Special Publication 800, that's 800145, that's 800 and 145. If you found today's video informative and enjoyable, it would be awesome if you could leave a like and subscribe if not already to help support this small channel's growth. I cannot underestimate how important every like and subscribe to the channel is, as it simply will not grow without this metric. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed the content as much as I enjoyed creating it. If you would like to see more content like this, it would be super fantastic if you could leave a like and subscribe to help support this channel's growth.